Hi, I'm Maya. I work at a small cafe in the heart of the city, and today I want to tell you about a day that was both hectic and heartwarming. The morning started early, sunlight streamed through the large windows of the cafe, casting golden patterns on the wooden floor. I could already hear the faint hum of the espresso machine and the chatter of the first few customers. As I unlocked the door, the familiar aroma of coffee and freshly baked bread welcomed me like an old friend. "Good morning, Maya," Mr. Thompson, the manager, called out from the back. He looked at the schedule and shook his head slightly. "It looks like it's going to be a busy one today. Are you ready?" "Good morning," I replied, tying my apron around my waist. "I'm ready. Let's do this." I took a deep breath and started preparing for the morning rush. The cafe was small but cozy, with wooden tables, mismatched chairs, and shelves lined with colorful mugs and tiny potted plants. I loved this place. It felt like home, even on the busiest days. By 8 a.m., the first wave of customers had arrived. I moved quickly behind the counter, taking orders and making drinks, one by one, cappuccinos, lattes, mochas, and espresso shots. The steam from the milk frother hissed and swirled in the air, while the sound of the grinder filled the room. "Can I get a caramel latte, please?" a young woman asked, smiling as she glanced at the pastries on display. "Of course, coming right up," I said, carefully swirling caramel on top of her coffee before handing it to her with a smile. "Here you go. Enjoy." The cafe started to fill quickly. Students with backpacks, office workers in neat suits, and a few regulars all stopped by for their morning caffeine. I recognized some familiar faces. "Good morning, Maya," called Mr. Patel, a regular who always ordered a double espresso and a chocolate croissant. "How's your day starting?" "Busy already, but good," I said, trying not to spill his espresso as I placed it on the counter. I moved on to the next order, juggling a tray of drinks while greeting a mother and her young child. The little boy was curious and kept pointing at the coffee machine. "Can I touch it?" he asked innocently. "Not yet, little one, but maybe one day you can be a barista too." He giggled and turned to his mother, who laughed along with him. Small moments like this reminded me why I loved working here. It wasn't just about coffee. It was about connecting with people, seeing their smiles, and being part of their day. By mid-morning, the cafe had reached its peak. The line stretched out the door, and I felt my energy rise with the challenge. Orders came in fast: lattes with extra foam, flat whites, iced mochas, and a variety of pastries. I moved quickly but carefully, making sure each drink looked perfect. "Excuse me, can I get a chai latte and a blueberry muffin?" a college student asked. "Of course, I'll have that ready in just a minute," I replied, placing the muffin on a small plate and preparing the tea carefully. In the midst of all the activity, I found little pockets of calm. For a few seconds, I paused to watch sunlight sparkle on the counter, noticing the steam from a hot coffee curling like a tiny cloud. I smiled to myself. Even on the busiest days, there were moments of beauty. Around 11 a.m., a group of 4 friends came in, laughing loudly. I took their orders, repeated them to make sure I got everything right, and carefully arranged the drinks on a tray. "Thanks, Maya, you're the best," one of them said, and my heart lifted. Compliments like this made every hectic minute worth it. By noon, I was fully immersed in the rhythm of the cafe, taking orders, frothing milk, serving drinks, and chatting briefly with regulars. I loved the rhythm. It was like a dance, moving from one task to another, always alert but calm. During a brief quiet moment, I leaned against the counter and sipped some water. I watched sunlight shift across the tables and noticed the reflections in the glass jars filled with sugar and coffee beans. I even had a few seconds to jot down a note in my small notebook, recording ideas for new latte art designs. The afternoon promised more challenges, and I felt ready. I loved being busy, especially when it meant creating something for others, whether it was a perfectly crafted coffee, a smile, or just a few minutes of someone's happiness. English phrases from Part 1. Good morning, I'm ready. Of course, coming right up. Here you go. Enjoy. Not yet, little one. You're the best. Even on the busiest days, there were moments of beauty. Vocabulary from Part 1, Maya's Café Story. Bustling. Full of activity and energy. Example, the cafe was bustling with customers. Cozy. Warm, comfortable, and inviting. Example, the cafe was small but cozy. Mismatched. Not matching or not coordinated. Example, mismatched chairs added character to the cafe. Carefully. Done with attention and caution. Example, I carefully swirled caramel on top of her coffee. Steam. Hot vapor rising from a liquid. Example, the steam from the milk frother hissed in the air. Frother. A machine or tool used to create frothy milk for coffee. Example, I used the frother to make the cappuccino creamy. Gentle. Soft, mild, or tender. Example, I said gently, not yet, little one. Pockets of calm. Short moments of peace in a busy environment. Example, I found little pockets of calm during the rush. Immersed. Completely involved or absorbed in something. Example, I was fully immersed in the rhythm of the cafe. Rhythm. A pattern or flow of movement or activity. Example, there was a rhythm to the busy cafe. Crafted. Made with skill and care. Example, creating a perfectly crafted coffee was satisfying. Hectic. Very busy or full of activity. Example, it was a hectic morning with so many orders. Regulars. People who come frequently to the same place. Example, I recognized some familiar regulars at the cafe. Autopilot. Doing something automatically without much conscious thought. I moved almost on autopilot, serving drinks and taking orders. Savory. Having a pleasant taste, often salty or spicy, opposite of sweet. Example, the pastries smelled savory and delicious. Wistfully. In a way that shows longing or yearning. Example, she looked wistfully at the ducks in the river. Maya's busy day at the cafe, Part 2. By noon, the cafe had reached its peak. The line stretched all the way to the door, and I felt a rush of adrenaline mixed with excitement. Orders came in fast and furious. Double espressos, iced lattes, cappuccinos, and an endless variety of pastries. I moved quickly, trying to balance speed with accuracy. Every order mattered. One small mistake could ruin someone's morning. Hi, can I get a large chai latte with almond milk, please? A college student asked. Absolutely, coming right up, I replied, starting the preparation while calling out to my colleague, Anna, can you help with an extra coffee? The cafe was buzzing. The chatter of students, the laughter of friends, and the clinking of cups filled the room. I could feel the heat from the espresso machines and the aroma of freshly ground coffee beans mixing with the sweet smell of pastries. I carried a tray of drinks to a table, trying not to spill anything. Careful, Anna called from behind me. You've got 3 cappuccinos and 2 lattes. Got it, I shouted back, balancing the tray like a tightrope walker. My heart was racing, but I couldn't help smiling. There was something exhilarating about this organized chaos. One regular customer, Mr. Patel, waved at me. You're handling the rush like a pro today, Maya, he said. Thanks. It's all about keeping calm and staying focused. His words made me feel proud, even amid the hectic pace. During the rush, I noticed a little boy staring curiously at the display of pastries. Would you like to pick one? I asked gently. His eyes lit up as he pointed at a chocolate croissant. Excellent choice, I said, handing it to him carefully. His mother thanked me with a warm smile, and I felt that familiar satisfaction, the small moments that made this job rewarding. Suddenly, a tray tipped slightly as I reached for another cup. I caught it just in time. Phew, I muttered under my breath. It was moments like this that reminded me to breathe and stay focused. By 1 p.m., the lunch crowd began to trickle in. Office workers grabbed quick sandwiches, soups, and coffees. I could hear snippets of conversation, discussions about meetings, deadlines, and weekend plans. It felt like being part of countless tiny stories, all happening at once. A young woman approached the counter. "Excuse me, I think I left my wallet here yesterday. Did anyone turn it in?" I quickly checked the lost and found box. "Yes, we found it behind the counter. Here you go." "Oh, thank you so much," she said, relief evident on her face. I smiled, feeling a small sense of accomplishment. It wasn't just coffee and pastries. It was helping people feel at ease. During a brief lull, I leaned against the counter and took a sip of water. The sunlight streaming through the window illuminated the cafe in a golden glow. I could see small dust particles floating in the beams of light, and for a moment, everything felt peaceful, despite the earlier chaos. I jotted down a note in my little notebook. Even in busy moments, look for beauty and calm. As the afternoon progressed, more families and friends came in. Some were loud and cheerful, others shy and quiet. I learned to read their moods and adjust my approach. Extra smiles for shy customers, light jokes for the cheerful ones. It was a skill that I had developed over time, and it made me feel connected to the people around me. By 3 p.m., I was feeling tired but energized at the same time. The constant movement, the interactions, and the responsibility of making sure everyone had a great experience kept me engaged. It was challenging, yes, but it was also deeply fulfilling. When the last customer of the afternoon left, I finally had a moment to breathe. I looked around the cafe, clean counters, neatly arranged chairs, and the faint aroma of coffee lingering in the air. Another busy, rewarding day. English phrases from Part 2. Coming right up. Careful! It's all about keeping calm and staying focused. Would you like to pick one? Whew! Oh, thank you so much. Even in busy moments, look for beauty and calm. Vocabulary highlights with meanings. Exhilarating, exciting and thrilling. Example: there was something exhilarating about this organized chaos. Trickle in, to arrive slowly in small numbers. Example: the lunch crowd began to trickle in. Snippets, small pieces or brief parts. Example: I could hear snippets of conversation. Relief, a feeling of comfort after stress or worry. Example: relief evident on her face. Lull, a short period of calm inactivity. Example: during a brief lull, I leaned against the counter. Illuminate, to light up or make clear. Example: the sunlight illuminated the cafe in a golden glow. Shy, cheerful. Quiet, reserved. Happy, lively. Example: extra smiles for shy customers, light jokes for the cheerful ones. Fulfilling, giving satisfaction or happiness. Example: it was challenging, yes, but deeply fulfilling. Maya's busy day at the cafe, Part 3. By late afternoon, the cafe had calmed down a bit. The lunch rush was over, but there were still a few customers enjoying their drinks and pastries. I took a moment to breathe, wiping down the counter and straightening the chairs. A young man approached the counter, looking slightly embarrassed. "Hi, I think I left my notebook here yesterday," he said. I smiled reassuringly. "No problem. Let's check the lost and found." After a moment, I handed him the notebook. "Here it is. Glad we found it." "Oh, thank you so much," he said, relief written all over his face. Moments like this reminded me that my job wasn't just about coffee. It was about helping people feel comfortable, safe, and happy. Around 4 p.m., a mother and her toddler came in. The little boy ran around excitedly, pointing at the pastries. "Can I have a cookie?" he asked with wide eyes. "Of course," I said, handing him a chocolate chip cookie. He took it carefully, smiling. His mother thanked me warmly. It was amazing how such small gestures could make a big difference in someone's day. Soon after, a group of college students came in, laughing and joking loudly. They each ordered different drinks and snacks. I moved quickly to make everything perfect, remembering the tips I had learned over the months. Stay calm, smile, and pay attention to details. During a quiet moment, I leaned against the counter and reflected on the day. I thought about the busy mornings, the chaotic rushes, the little mistakes I almost made, and the funny incidents that made me laugh. Each moment, even the hectic ones, had taught me patience, focus, and how to connect with people. By 5 p.m., the cafe was winding down. I started the closing routine, wiping counters, washing cups, and arranging pastries neatly for the next day. The air still smelled of coffee and baked goods, but there was also a peaceful calm that came after a busy day. I looked around the cafe, noticing small details I often missed during the rush. Sunlight reflecting on the jars of sugar, tiny crumbs on the counter, a stray coffee bean on the floor. I smiled, appreciating the simple beauty of my work environment. Before leaving, I checked the schedule for tomorrow. Another busy day awaited, but I felt ready. I had learned so much today: how to stay calm under pressure, the importance of small gestures, and the joy of connecting with people. Locking the door behind me, I took a deep breath of the cool evening air. The city outside was quieter now, and the warm glow of the cafe behind me felt comforting. Another busy day had passed, filled with challenges, laughter, and small victories. Walking home, I thought to myself, every day can teach us something, even if it's just patience, kindness, or noticing the little things around us. I felt grateful for the day and excited for tomorrow. As I climbed into bed that night, I reflected on everything I had experienced: the early morning rush, the smiling faces of customers, the small accidents I avoided, and the moments of calm. I felt fulfilled, happy, and ready to dream about new adventures, both inside the cafe and beyond. English phrases from Part 3. No problem. Let's check the lost and found. Here it is. Glad we found it. Of course. Stay calm, smile, and pay attention to details. Every day can teach us something, even if it's just patience, kindness, or noticing the little things around us. Vocabulary highlights with meanings. Embarrassed, feeling self-conscious or shy. Example: the young man looked slightly embarrassed. Reassuringly, in a way that makes someone feel less worried. Example: I smiled reassuringly. Gestures, small actions that communicate feelings or intentions. Example: small gestures can make a big difference. Winding down, gradually becoming calmer or ending. Example: the cafe was winding down for the evening. Hectic, very busy and full of activity. Example: even the hectic moments taught me patience. Stray, something that is not in the right place. Example: a stray coffee bean on the floor. Fulfilled, feeling satisfied and happy about your accomplishments. Example: I felt fulfilled, happy, and ready to dream about new adventures. Reflect, to think carefully about something. Example: I reflected on everything I had experienced today. As I finally stepped out of the cafe, the evening air felt cool and refreshing. I took a deep breath, thinking about everything that had happened today. The early morning rush, the laughter of customers, the small mistakes I had avoided, and the moments that made me smile. I realized that even in a busy, hectic day, there is always something to appreciate. A kind word from a customer, the aroma of fresh coffee, or the little victories that make a difference. These moments reminded me why I loved my job so much. Walking home, I thought to myself, every day is a chance to learn, to help others, and to notice the little things around us. Even when the day is full of chaos, there is beauty, connection, and satisfaction in the simple acts we do. When I finally climbed into bed, I felt tired, but happy, fulfilled, and grateful. I knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new customers, and new moments to enjoy, and I was ready for all of it. Good night, world. Until tomorrow, may your day be full of small joys, learning, and moments that make your heart smile.